Get her out of my house right now. Or, I swear to God, I'm releasing recorded phone calls to every TV network in the world in 5 minutes. Those terrifying, raw words, screamed by Prince William as he smashed a heavy crystal decanter against the wall inside Clarence's house, sent King Charles completely frozen in absolute horror just 5 minutes ago, in an unbelievable, heart-stopping royal crime scene that has pushed the British monarchy to the absolute edge of collapse. Prince William has officially ambushed Queen Camilla with an elite team of private investigators. He slammed an encrypted drive onto the table, exposing a chilling, secret plot where Camilla was caught on audio secretly paying off senior palace doctors to fabricate psychiatric reports declaring William mentally unfit to take the throne. When Camilla tried to snatch the drive, William grabbed her by the wrist, backed her into a corner, and ordered armed royal guards to lock the palace doors. Queen Camilla broke down in tears, screaming for Charles to save her, but the king stood entirely paralyzed, staring at the physical proof of his wife's ultimate betrayal. What dark, dangerous secret did Camilla try to bury before William caught her red-handed? Stay right here, because the raw, leaked security tape coming out of London tonight will leave you completely paralyzed. To truly understand how a blood-chilling betrayal of this magnitude could erupt inside the guarded sanctuaries of Clarence's house, we have to tear away the fake, highly polished mask of unity that Buckingham Palace parades before the global public and expose the rot-infested power struggle that has been quietly eating away at the House of Windsor for over 2 decades. For years, the Crown's powerful public relations machine has worked around the clock to sell the world a carefully manufactured fairy tale. We were told that the old wounds had healed, that Prince William had embraced Camilla as his father's queen, and that the modern monarchy was operating as a tight-knit, unbreakable unit. But behind those towering palace gates and soundproof oak doors, the reality was a living nightmare defined by bitter resentment, paranoia, and a relentless war for total control. The origin of this toxic war traces back to the darkest days of royal history, the tragic era surrounding Princess Diana. Prince William never truly forgot or forgave the emotional destruction inflicted upon his mother. While William maintained an icy, professional composure for the sake of public duty, Queen Camilla viewed William not as a beloved stepson, but as an existential threat, a constant, living reminder of Diana's legacy and the ultimate obstacle to her own family's long-term dominance. When King Charles finally ascended the throne, the internal balance of power shifted overnight. Camilla wasn't content with holding a mere title. She immediately began expanding her private office, quietly placing non-royal relatives, loyalists, and shadowy political strategists into critical administrative positions within the Lord Chamberlain's office and the Privy Council. While Prince William and Princess Catherine built an incredible global presence, dominating international headlines, drawing billions of views online, and earning the genuine affection of the nation, Camilla's faction within the palace grew consumed by intense jealousy and paranoia. The palace was silently divided into 2 hostile camps, a senior royal insider revealed in a shock-leaked document. Kensington Palace represented the future, commanding absolute public support. On the other side, Camilla's inner circle worked frantically in the shadows. Terrified that the second William took the throne, Camilla's family would be permanently stripped of their influence and cast out. Knowing that King Charles's reign was fundamentally transitional, Camilla understood that her power had an expiration date. Realizing her authority would vanish the instant William inherited the crown, her faction began formulating a covert, long-term campaign designed to systematically weaken William's standing within the institution before he could ever wear the ring of sovereignty. Over the last 2 years, quiet sabotage began occurring behind closed doors. Funding for William and Catherine's primary charitable foundations was subjected to deliberate bureaucratic delays orchestrated by Clarence's house staff. Negative press leaks surrounding William's temper were strategically leaked to tabloid journalists to tarnish his public image and paint him as volatile. Prince William repeatedly raised alarms with his father, warning King Charles that Camilla's inner circle was constructing a rogue apparatus that bypassed constitutional protocols. You are letting her people undermine the future of this crown. William reportedly shouted at King Charles during a confrontation at Highgrove. Her advisors are shutting my team out of policy decisions. If you don't rein her office in right now, I will take matters into my own hands. King Charles, caught between his deep emotional dependency on Camilla and his solemn duty, as sovereign protector's heir, chose the path of dangerous denial. Charles convinced himself that the friction was merely a personal misunderstanding, completely blind to the reality that his wife's faction was actively preparing a legal and medical trap that would ultimately paralyze his entire reign. The situation reached critical mass when Princess Catherine was forced to step back for her recovery. Seeing Kensington Palace momentarily vulnerable, Camilla's faction accelerated their operation, attempting to isolate Prince William entirely and plant the seeds for a legal challenge to his succession. But they vastly underestimated Prince William's intelligence network. William wasn't just watching. He was building a bulletproof dossier of his own, waiting for a precise moment when Camilla's operatives crossed a legal line into treason. The atmosphere inside the private drawing room at Clarence House was stifling at 5:15 p.m. when Prince William made his unannounced high-security entry. Rain slammed relentlessly against the tall glass windows. Outside, the sky had turned a dark, bruised purple, matching the ominous tension settling over the room. King Charles was seated near the fireplace, reviewing official red box documents, while Queen Camilla sat nearby on a velvet armchair, whispering into an encrypted satellite phone. Without warning, the heavy mahogany double doors slammed open with a deafening bang. Prince William strode into the room, flanked by two armed senior protection officers and his chief legal counsel. He didn't take off his coat. His knuckles were white, his posture stiff with pure, unadulterated fury. "Leave us immediately," William barked at the lingering house staff. When the servants scrambled out and closed the doors behind them, Queen Camilla stood up, her eyebrows knitted together in annoyed judgment. "William, what is the meaning of this dramatic intrusion?" Camilla said, her voice dripping with irritation. "Your father is resting before an official state call. Show some respect." William didn't answer her. He walked straight up to the marble coffee table, reached into his coat pocket, and slammed a heavy, military-grade encrypted drive onto the glass surface, so hard it cracked the corner of the table. "Explain this, Camilla," William said, his voice dropping into a low, terrifying growl. King Charles looked up from his red box, his eyes blinking in total confusion. "William, my boy, what on earth is going on?" Charles asked, extending a hand. "What is on that drive?" "What's on this drive, Charles, is the audio evidence of your wife paying off two senior members of the Royal Medical Board to alter my personal health records." William shouted, his voice echoing off the high ornate ceiling. Camilla's face instantly drained of all color. She took an involuntary step backward, her lips trembling, but she tried to force a cold laugh. "That is absolute madness." Camilla shrieked, clutching her pearl necklace. "Charles, he has lost his mind. He is fabricating wild accusations to attack me again. Am I?" William roared. He leaned over the table, pressing a button on the side of the drive. A built-in speaker activated, and a harsh, crystal-clear digital recording began playing aloud into the room. The voice coming through the speaker was unmistakable. It belonged to Queen Camilla's chief private secretary, talking directly to a top Harley Street psychiatric specialist. "The Queen Consort needs a formal, confidential medical evaluation drafted." The private secretary's voice stated clearly on the recording. "It must suggest that the Prince of Wales is suffering from severe, unmanageable anger issues that render him emotionally unstable. If the Regency Act is invoked, this document needs to be ready for the Home Office. The secondary offshore account has already been funded with the agreed £500,000. The room fell into an icy, horrifying silence. King Charles froze completely. The documents in his hand slipped from his fingers, scattering all over the floor. He stared at the glowing drive on the table, his mouth slightly open, his chest heaving as if he couldn't get enough air. "Charles," Camilla whispered, her voice cracking in pure panic. "Listen to me, it's a deep fake. It's an artificial intelligence setup. William generated this to push me out." "Shut your mouth," William screamed, pointing his finger inches from Camilla's face. "I have the banking wire receipt stamped by the Swiss Financial Authority. Camilla, I have the IP logs from your personal laptop. You tried to have me legally declared insane, so you could seize control of the Regency Council." Camilla snapped, driven by sheer panic. She lunged forward across the table, grabbing for the encrypted drive to smash it on the hearth. But William was faster. He grabbed her by the wrist, stopping her in midair with a cold, iron grip, and backed her straight into the corner of the room near the heavy drapery. Touch this evidence again, and you won't wait for a legal hearing. I will have security escort you straight to a holding cell, William warned, his face inches from hers. Camilla broke down into hysterics, screaming at the top of her lungs. Charles, help me. He is physically assaulting your queen. Do something, Charles. Order his guards to arrest him. King Charles tried to stand up, but his knees buckled slightly. He grabbed the edge of the mantelpiece, his face completely pale, his eyes wide with absolute horror as he looked back and forth between his wife and his son. William, let go of her wrist, Charles whispered, his voice trembling uncontrollably. Is this true, Camilla? Did you try to alter William's medical files? Camilla couldn't even answer. She was sobbing uncontrollably, trembling in the corner, unable to meet the king's eyes. And that is when William delivered the first catastrophic plot twist that completely shattered what was left of the British monarchy. You think she acted alone, Charles? William sneered, leaning over his father's desk and pulling out a second red folder from his briefcase. Look at the co-signer on the Swiss offshore transfer. Father, look at who authorized her private secretary to access the high-level security clearance. King Charles reached out with trembling hand, opening the folder to look at the highlighted signature at the bottom of the bank transfer authorization. The moment Charles read the name, he froze into stone. The co-signer who provided Camilla with the secret authorization codes wasn't an outside courtier or a rogue advisor. It was King Charles's own personal private secretary, the most trusted man in his inner cabinet. The betrayal ran directly through the king's own office, proving that Charles's entire administration had been compromised from the inside out to destroy Prince William. By 6 p.m., the physical confrontation inside Clarence House had escaped the palace walls. The media dam didn't just leak, it completely burst. Emergency broadcasts interrupted evening news programs worldwide. Shocking red banners dominated every major network screen. Constitutional emergency. Prince William uncovers covert medical plot inside palace. Social media instantly transformed into a battlefield of pure chaos. In less than 45 minutes, hashtag Camilla treason, hashtag protect William, hashtag palace coup, and hashtag King Charles exploded across X, TikTok, and Instagram, generating over 30 million posts. Leaked internal text messages, allegedly sent by a senior cabinet office official to a top political editor, went viral globally. Total meltdown at Clarence House. William cornered Camilla with audio evidence and Swiss bank records. The king is in a state of catatonic shock. Armed guards on high alert at all palace gates. The internet exploded with fury. Thousands of live streams popped up analyzing the scandal, while angry citizens began gathering in massive crowds outside the gates of Buckingham Palace, chanting, "Arrest Camilla! Banish the traitors!" Inside the royal residences, emergency phone lines were ringing off the hook. The Prime Minister, the Home Secretary, and foreign diplomats demanded immediate clarification on the stability of the head of state. Then at 7:15 p.m., as King Charles remained trapped in utter paralysis, a second catastrophic twist hit the global wire, dropping a nuclear reveal that turned this internal family war into an international criminal scandal. An anonymous whistleblower account published a 50-page document leak containing encrypted chat logs between Camilla's inner circle and overseas media executives. The leaks revealed that the medical plot wasn't just intended to stall William's succession. It was tied to a massive financial payoff. Camilla's team had signed non-disclosure agreements with foreign media consortiums to launch a multi-million-dollar smear campaign against Princess Catherine while she was away recovering from her medical procedures. The documents show that Camilla's advisors were actively planning to release fabricated stories claiming Catherine was leaving the country, deliberately using Catherine's period of vulnerability to destroy William's domestic stability and public standing. When Princess Catherine received the verified proof of the media smear plot at Kensington Palace, she reportedly issued an absolute, non-negotiable directive to William. Do not show them an ounce of mercy. Finish it tonight. Outside Clarence House, heavy iron gates slammed shut as blacked-out SUVs carrying senior constitutional lawyers arrived under armed police escort. Prince William stepped out onto the courtyard balcony, his face carved of stone, looking down at the surrounding press lights. The world was watching. The palace was under siege, and the Lion of Windsor was officially burning from the inside out. By 8:30 p.m., the toxic fallout from the revealed plot had triggered an all-out global media war, shattering public opinion and splitting the nation into two hostile, uncompromising camps. Major news networks dropped scheduled programming to host explosive, emergency roundtable debates. Constitutional scholars, former law enforcement officials, and royal historians engaged in screaming matches live on air, unable to control their fury. This is not a mere family disagreement. This is outright treason within the royal household. An outraged senior commentator shouted during a live broadcast. Queen Camilla and her private secretaries attempted to tamper with the constitutional order of the United Kingdom. She has violated her sacred oath to crown, and she must be stripped of her title, removed from the line of royal privilege, and investigated by federal authorities immediately. On opposing panels, a small, panicking group of traditionalist commentators tried to defend the institution's fragile reputation, begging for calm. "We must exercise extreme caution," a royal biographer pleaded. The king was caught entirely unaware by these shadow operations. If we force an emergency eviction of Queen Camilla without due legal process, the entire structural integrity of the monarchy will crumble before the weekend. That desperate plea was instantly drowned out by furious viewers calling into live broadcasts and overwhelming social media platforms. The king froze because he let her run a rogue government inside his own home. A caller screamed on national radio. Prince William is the only leader left standing who actually gives a damn about the rule of law. If Charles does not banish Camilla from royal property tonight, Parliament must step in and demand an immediate abdication. Real-time global polls conducted by major media outlets showed an unprecedented 98% of respondents siding directly with Prince William's ruthless lockdown, leaving Queen Camilla with virtually zero public support. On TikTok, YouTube, and X, independent creators and legal analysts began dissecting past public appearances, pointing out subtle body language cues, ice-cold glances, and calculated seating arrangements that showed Camilla systematically attempting to sideline William and Catherine for months. The political backlash reached a boiling point in Parliament. Members of the House of Commons held an emergency session, with senior MPs drafting a formal motion to freeze Queen Camilla's allocation of the sovereign grant and strip her of all official state patronages. If taxpayer money or royal funds were deployed to finance a smear campaign against the Prince and Princess of Wales, a prominent MP declared outside Westminster, then the Crown Prosecution Service must open a formal criminal case tonight. Meanwhile, premier international charities and global humanitarian organizations backed by the palace began frantically scrubbing Queen Camilla's name and portrait from their websites, terrified that any connection to her office would ignite immediate corporate sponsor boycotts. Kensington Palace then issued a cold, razor-sharp press statement that confirmed Prince William would not back down. The Prince of Wales will take all necessary measures to defend the legal integrity of the crown and protect his family from unauthorized domestic threats. Just when it seemed the scandal couldn't possibly get any darker, an elite insider from the Privy Council dropped a final nuclear bombshell revelation at 10:30 p.m. that threatens to bring down the entire royal establishment. The leak revealed that King Charles, finally snapping out of his initial state of shock, demanded to inspect the master legal files seized from Camilla's private office. As Charles turned to the very last page of the confiscated dossier, he made a discovery so terrifying, so deeply personal, that it completely shattered his heart into a million pieces. The plot to remove William wasn't just hatched by Queen Camilla and her inner circle alone. The encrypted phone logs trapped in a high court file proved that Camilla had been receiving direct strategic guidance and confidential legal support from another high-profile, exiled member of the royal family living overseas. The leaked logs revealed that Prince Harry had been in covert contact with Camilla's legal team for over 8 months, agreeing to provide private family testimony against Prince William in exchange for full financial restoration and state security detail once the Regency Council took over. The entire conspiracy was a coordinated, dual-pronged attack designed to destroy Prince William from both inside Clarence House and across the Atlantic. When Prince William discovered his brother's hidden involvement in Camilla's coup, he executed an ultimate scorched earth maneuver that will alter British history forever. At 11:15 p.m., Prince William delivered a final, non-negotiable ultimatum directly to King Charles's private secretary. "You have until 9 a.m. tomorrow morning to take the following actions," William commanded, his voice cold as steel. First, execute a formal royal warrant permanently stripping Camilla of her title as queen and revoking her estate access. Second, initiate criminal proceedings against every courtier listed in this dossier. And third, permanently bar Harry from ever setting foot on British soil again. "And if the king hesitates, your royal highness?" the secretary asked, trembling with fear. William's reply was short, decisive, and absolute. "If my father does not sign those orders by 9 a.m., I will step outside Kensington Palace with complete high court file, address the world media live, and announce my immediate refusal to serve under this administration, triggering complete collapse of the monarchy. The British monarchy is now standing on the absolute brink of total destruction. The 9 a.m. deadline clock is ticking down to zero. Will King Charles find the courage to sign the warrants, strip Camilla of her crown, and banish the traitors forever? Or will he let the clock run out, forcing Prince William to walk away and end the line of Windsor once and for all? This is without a doubt the most heart-stopping royal war in history, and the entire fate of the British monarchy is hanging by a thread. Now I want to hear from you. Do you stand with Prince William for taking immediate legal action to protect his birthright? Or should King Charles try to save his marriage? Drop your thoughts in the comments below right now. If you want the instant update the second that 9 a.m. deadline hits, like this video, subscribe, and turn on all post notifications. Stay tuned, because the next update changes everything.